Hello,
Hello,
hello.
everyone.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome to office hours. We're all wearing our really cool shades because it's almost summertime. And I know here where I live in the Northeast, the sun has been bright and shining and warm and beautiful. And I hope it's the same for all of you. Thank you all for joining in. My name is Melissa Campesi. I'm an EL educator here in New Jersey. I'm excited to be here because we're going to be talking about the summer, family, and how our activities can be both fun and educational with our family. So I have my really cool co-host Charles with me today. Charles, can you introduce
Thank you.
yourself?
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Melissa. I appreciate always sharing this space with you. I had to take off my glasses. I was like, I'm not going to do this entire time in my glasses, but feel free to keep your glasses on. And if you are wearing your glasses because you got in the mood or you want to go grab them, go ahead, throw them on, and then do us a favor. Snap a quick selfie, send it to us.
Ooh.
Better yet, throw it on social media, retweet it, and tag us. Get the word out there, right? They're going to be like, what's going on over at office hours? Then they'll have to come and join us. But welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Charles Williams. I'm a K-8 principal, an author, an educational consultant, the host of the Counter Narrative podcast, co-host of Inside the Principal's Office. And in those few moments that I have some extra time, I pop up here as well. Wallace is killing me, school rubric. I love doing this work. So thank you. Thank you so much for having me in these spaces. But better yet, besides just myself and Melissa today, we have Dave and Shilpi. I'm so excited to connect with each and both of you. So before we move forward, why don't you each tell us just a little bit about yourself, what you do, where you're from, and then we'll jump into today's topic. So Shilpi, we'll kick it off to you first.
Hi, everybody. I'm Shilpi. I'm founder of Tablefy, and Tablefy actually bring mindfulness and social emotional learning together and make it real fun. Our focus is ideally anytime mindfulness, and we present it to you in fun animations and through books. So the idea is making it a holistic activity for the classroom as well as for parents and children. So that's about me.
That is wonderful. I will definitely be connecting with you and checking that out and see maybe how we could grow something between my building and your organization. That sounds great. Dave, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm David Hennel. I am the tech director of a grade 6 through 12 independent school in Maryland. I actually live in Pennsylvania. And I am the co-founder / moderator for one of the fun chats here on Twitter every Saturday at Crazy PLN. We're always talking topics. I'm excited to be here, close off the year, and hopefully we'll be able to keep the discussion going and move on the things that we learned with this unique school year.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I want to say thank you both for being in this space. I'm looking forward to the conversation because, as Melissa mentioned earlier, today we are going to be talking about a simple thing, yet so potentially impactful, so potentially powerful. It covers educational activities, or I should just say activities that can be educational, where our students, our children, learn and grow and have a little bit of fun along the way. And that is probably the best part. We are not just some educators sitting here talking to you about what you can do with kids while we're just like, we don't have them and we don't know what we're talking about. Today, we're talking from experience because we each have our own families. We're each going to be sharing with you some things that we have done with our own families. So super excited. Sit back, relax. The very first one comes to us from Shilpi. So Shilpi, I'm going to turn it over to you. We're going to bring up those pictures. So share with us, what is your suggested activity for this summer?
So, as you can see, my family is hiking in both these activities. One of this is in Yosemite National Park, and the other one is probably at Zion National Park. So we love hiking, we love adventure, and what I like about hiking is it's so close to nature that there is a natural intersection with mindfulness, with pausing, and with consciously engaging yourself with everything around you. And with the school year that we've had, it's very important for children to focus on mental health. And I personally believe that, this intersection this summer where parents can engage their kids with the outdoors, with engaging them, pausing, taking breaks, will really have a positive impact on their mental health.
That is really nice. That is one park that I've always wanted to visit. So, I'm super looking forward, I guess, to eventually getting there. I know I don't know about you guys, but when the pandemic hit, one of the things, and I don't even feel guilty about this, but in the morning, every single morning before we jumped online, before we started doing everything we needed to do, my wife and we would go for a walk. And it was one of the best things. Sometimes it was just around the neighborhood. Sometimes it was just on the little nature walk, the little trail here. But it was one of the best things to get out there. And Shilpi, I have to agree, even though I didn't think about it at that time, it really got me into the mindset of getting ready to do the work, right? Instead of an hour and a half commute in, we went for a little walk, and it really got me ready to go. And I was much more productive. So it's a great idea there.
Right. I agree. And, nature walks, I love doing that as well. It relieves stress. It kind of like gets you reconnected back to yourself and what you need to do. And, now that the summer's here, the sun is out a little longer. So it's almost like nature is encouraging you, like, enjoy me more, enjoy my nature. So, I mean, being outdoors and doing the hiking and the mindfulness is really important, and especially for our little guys.
Yep, absolutely. And I think if we add a little activity, say when we are, just outside with our kids, whether it's a nature walk, or whether they're hiking, or we're walking around the neighborhood, something as simple as, just engaging your senses, like, the 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can touch, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. I mean, just this simple activity is you subconsciously helping them being more aware of their surroundings and of their own body without even realizing that you're actually, they're teaching them critical activities of self-awareness and, the awareness of the surroundings. So, yeah.
Those are
I was
great
just going
ideas.
to say, be careful with that last one. 1 thing you could taste, that could end up really bad. Depending on your
I mean, I usually carry a snack. I mean, I wanted to add that. You added carry a snack.
Stay away from the mushroom. Put it down. And I was also thinking also as an extension, if you really want to take it to a more educational level, my son was learning a little bit about Lewis and Clark at the expedition and how they took a journal and they had to explore the outdoors. And, we can encourage our kids to, take a journal, jot down, draw what you see along the way as if they were explorers, looking at a new land. So just, to bring in that creativity for them.
Yeah, and add a scavenger hunt to that. I mean, can you spot, or a I Spy game, like I spot a bird, and you can add like a red colored bird, or I spot a yellow flower. So you can add that. That's again another element to increase heightening their their senses per se. So yeah, so
Dave, I don't think we really left much for you there.
I'll add one thing.
Jump in.
I'll add one thing. So the other thing you can do on the hike is you can tell a story. So you can have each person find 1 thing and start the story off. And then, after you walk however long you want to designate, the next person goes, have them continue the story. And at least that again, helps build the memories. It also helps them, they're going to be more observing of their surroundings and trying to match everything together.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That would be a fun thing to do. Like maybe if we, and again, we encourage the audience, to be participative. We don't want you just sitting back and watching. We would love to hear your ideas. So not only should you drop an idea or 2 in the chat about things that you do with your own families. We saw Anna popping in. Anna, thank you for being here. But you know what? That would be a fun thing. And so maybe at some point, somebody could throw out like a Twitter challenge to share the stories that they create on their walks, because that could be fun. Or maybe you could start a Twitter chat of creating a story. But I'm not volunteering when you guys have to do that. So. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So that was the first one. And so we are going to get ready to shift into the second one. And so I will kick things off because this is my own. So I know that I share with you, my wife and I, we have a pretty big family. We have 5 daughters, and the youngest one is 17. And so a lot of times they're like, "Ah, we're doing our own thing." But we still get to enjoy these activities with my grandson, who you see in the picture here. That's Leo. Leo is just a little over 4 years old, and he does everything with me. I mean, everything, everything, everything. Which is in hindsight, it is a great way for children to learn, right? And there's so many things they can learn, from simple mathematical things, right? Even down to just skills, things that I wish that I would have paid a little more attention to when my grandfather was trying to teach me as I was growing up. It probably would have saved a lot of time and headaches on my own DIY projects. So the fact that he is so willing to learn and jump in, I would recommend this. And it's just right. Not only are they learning, but you're also getting projects done that have to get done anyway. So you're kind of doing 2 birds with 1 stone there. So yeah, that is my idea.
And if they're like my kids, you have to pay them, so they also learn, financial responsibility and business plans. And
there you go. You got to teach the fiscal responsibility as well, right?
Right. And this
I changed Christmas to basically my son has to give me a PowerPoint of what he wants each year, so I at least make him try to work for it.
Nice.
No, I was going to say that, especially with the little guys, this is where actions speak louder than words. Instead of telling them what to do, how to take care of their space, it's nice where they see their parent, their grandparent, their family member, older brother and sister, modeling what they're doing, how to take care of their space. I know my sons, I don't really have a green thumb, but my husband does. So he's out there always teaching them how to grow things, how to nurture the plants and the tomatoes that we're growing. Good thing I'm not in charge of them because they would be gone real quick. But they do. They really look up to us and watch our actions. And that's their best learning. And even better when they could do it in nature and outside.
Yep. And I mean, with my family, usually summer is the time when you're like painting the deck or you're building like outdoor, like we're trying to build a new outdoor garden, which is, just lining our front yard. Mm-hmm. And we are, taking help from them. They are, helping us with planting the shrubs and putting the stones in there, and they're giving ideations on how to make it look really nice and pretty. So it's a whole spectrum of starting from ideation to actually implementation of the project. So you can actually approach it like a project management thing. What is the timeline you're going to take, or what are the things that you need to input, what's the output going to look like. My son often designs how it should look like in, say, an app like Procreate. You can use that to design how the outdoor space is going to look like. So there is so much innovation that you can do when you're actually engaging the kids, and their own minds are growing in different ways, where they're looking at a problem in a very project-based space. So it's like a project-based learning for them.
Yeah, absolutely. We have purchased his little tools, right? The little power tools, little gardening tools. And, it was fun because we built a snowman this winter, and he went to the garage and he pulled out his tools, and I'm like, what are you going to do with that? Right. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the kind of the creative ways that they come up of using tools in different ways. And as educators, that's what we're always talking about. You have this tool, it's supposed to be used for X, but you came up with another way to utilize it, and it's super effective. And it was like, yeah, right. That is the purpose of what we're trying to do. Because when we talk about creative thinking, when we're talking about building new ideas and putting all that together, it's like
innovation.
Innovation.
Mm-hmm.
So, absolutely.
I love it. Well, I am up next, and some of my family pictures that I have are from a couple of years ago. So once upon a time, I tried to get into flamenco dancing. My family is from Spain. My mother's family is from Spain. So we went one day 10 minutes away from my home to support my flamenco teacher. And it was a feria, which is a festival, an outdoor festival of Seville. So they had food, they had music, they had dancing, they had vendors and art and artifacts. So it was an awesome experience for me and my sons to connect with my grandmother. There she is with my son Colton, teaching him how to hold the castanets, the little clam-looking things. And it was just great. The energy of being outdoors and around the people, and this type of learning is just about the exposure, the experience, and building their schema. So we have to really think about what they see, what they hear, like Shilpi was saying before, trying to get those five senses really working. And you never know, they can use this one day in the classroom. They could use it as a writing story. They could use it to connect to a book. So, exposure to any of these festivals, whether it's music or film or, whatever it is I think very valuable to students, and it's fun.
Melissa, I was going to ask, in that one of those pictures, was that a dish of paella?
Paella, yes. Delicious.
Yes.
Delicious. Yes. It was really good. It was really good. It's all about the food and the sangria.
There you go. Melissa, I was going to say, when you mentioned outdoor festivals, and I'm sure there are people watching now and they're like, we cannot wait to get back to doing some of those things about being outside, being around each other. I will tell you, one of my favorite activities is listening to live music. And it doesn't even have to be the actual band. It could be a cover band.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually more affordable to go see them, right? So but being outdoors and in those spaces, there's something powerful. And you're absolutely right. The idea of expanding your cultural horizons, being able to immerse yourself with people who may look differently from you, who may speak differently from you, may have different, cultural activities from you, but you get to learn authentically and in real time those differences. And so outdoor festivals, those type of spaces, absolutely a great idea to do those types of things.
Yeah, it's like, it's free, it's not structured. It's free. They walk around, they interact with new people, and they're exposed to new things. So it's really a cool activity to do. And many towns, I think you don't really charge. You just pay for vendors if you want food or if you want to buy something. So it's a really cool activity to do with your family.
Absolutely.
I'd also suggest, there's a lot of, like my wife and I and my kids, would all do the MDA walk, and we would do different walks where they would throw those type of festivals kind of at the end, or those sort of engagements. And those are always really meaningful, especially when you get the younger ones involved. So look out there for some of those experiences from some of those nonprofits that kind of already are putting all that on, and then maybe you can introduce that to your child or students.
Yeah, I mean, for us, in our town, we have like a local Greek festival, a local Egyptian festival, and we also, the Indian Festival of Holi is actually pushed from March and played in summer. So the kids get a lot of exposure on not just, the culture, the food, they interact with people who look, as you said, who look different from them. And that kind of increases their horizon, and they understand others better. It's like, when you know the culture, there's much better perspective taking that happens as far as, interacting with people is concerned. And, once you get home, you can, even do a project wherein you are actually checking out more about the country, do a history-based project or a culture-based project where you're saying what language they talk, what primary foods they eat. So you can actually add to that cultural experience in variety of ways. Where is the country located on the map? What's the historical, talk about everything under the sun about, that specific country.
I like those connections and that extension. That's awesome. That's awesome. So I think we have.
All right, so I think I'm next.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say we
David's
have
next,
one
and I
more.
know he's got some really cool
Oh, boy.
and creative ideas.
Yeah, so I went a different route, and I pretty much just shared some of the things that I like doing with my family and some of the things that interest me, to kind of take different layers on the different experiences that you have. And yesterday was National Scavenger Hunt Day, so I'm going to bring that in next. But first, I'm a tech guy, and we love doing our research. We love Google. We love getting online. We love going to websites. It's so much fun if you can jump on a website or go to a certain place first before you visit, say, a museum or a gallery, because then you can start creating a game kind of out of it. You can have your little ones or your students kind of map out where they think certain things would be, what they're looking for, and you can see who can find it first. You can see what other impact you have, but most importantly, you're also trying to figure out what is interesting to them the most, right? So you're trying to see that individuality of each person, because they're going to gravitate right to what they're looking for before they even get there. And then that could just tell the whole experience. Another twist would be making a bingo card, right? You can have bingo cards made up with different things that are there. I mean, I'll go so far as to say, we were actually at a hospital once, and I was watching my children while my wife was visiting someone, and we kind of did the same thing. We were like, let's go find who, the head of this is, or this person is, and we just are running around this hospital looking for different things, and it wound up being a really good experience. Moving on, apologize for that, went over a little bit, but some other quick hits are, one thing that I've found that's good, not only when it's past your kids' bedtime, but if you make them turn on closed captions, let's practice the reading. Let's take turns reading it while we're watching a show or whatever we're doing family-wise. I'm huge on math. I just, it's been one of my favorite. For whatever reason, that's just how I was. So I was always playing different dice games and things with my kids. So we took that on the road. So when you're on the road, we're always looking for signs. We're always trying to find the biggest number. Sometimes it's a sign on, a billboard. Sometimes it's a number on a building, whatever it is. But it's kind of just keeping it all engaging. It's keeping us all thinking. And, as they get older, we start putting more challenges on them. So maybe in the slide that's there, the biggest number is 421. Well, what if we limit you to 2 digits? So now you have to do multiplication. So now 4 times 21 would be 84. Well, that's not as big as 85. So who can go first? So you can transfer a lot of that, quick hits, logical thinking, pattern recognition, all that good stuff.
Dave, I was going with 2 billion on that one, just so you know.
Yeah, well, it depends if people have commas. You can start writing on the windshield. It can get messy. So, all right, next slide I want to talk about is something that I'm actually really excited about, and I just started doing, which it's been out for a little while, but I feel like it's one of those things that never gets old, right? So we're already talking about going on hikes. We're already talking about going to festivals and all these different things. So chances are they have a phone. Let's play a game. So log into geocaching. You'll find, hundreds of thousands of things that have been hidden by other people. What you basically do is you download it on, an Android app or your iPhone. And just in my area, close to Lancaster, York, there's 2,095 of these different little caches. And it's basically, there'll be clues. It takes you to a location, and there'll be a box, kind of like what you're seeing there, usually Tupperware. And then they'll even have a log. So when you find it, you can write your name and you feel like you kind of accomplished something. Or you can put a comment on the page. So it's, again, it's about knowing your surroundings, probably going places you wouldn't normally go, and just making the most of that opportunity by encouraging each other, having some sort of goal that you're trying to accomplish, and hopefully making good memories. And, it wouldn't hurt if they learned how to use a map. So not a bad idea.
Man, I'm glad we let you go last, because even though there were 3 of them, those are 3 fun. I just literally, as you were talking, downloaded the geocaching on my phone. So I was like, that is awesome. That is. Yeah,
it's kind of with the Pokemon, the Go Find. It's kind of what started that whole trend, but this is still, pretty relevant. And, it's, again, for me, I relocated from Maryland to PA. So there's still so many parts of PA that we haven't seen. So it's really nice to explore as well.
Right. And it's nice that you're doing it together. So dad and mom haven't been there, and the kids they're joining in the adventure and the exploration with you, which is, I think, even cooler for them and more engaging. I love it. I love those ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I've been wanting to do geocaching, and I'm glad you reminded me today. I am going to download the app as soon as this episode is over.
We're going tomorrow with my son. There's one 1.5 miles from us. And I'll check it in. I'll put it on Twitter. Check me out at Hennel D.
You know, I think probably one of the best things, and I don't know if we intended to do this. I don't know if it just so happened this way. But I think one of the best things about almost everything that we pointed out today is that you can do all of these things without any cost, right? I mean, it's just getting out into the world, get out of our homes. We've been cooped up for over a year. So, right, getting out into the world and just enjoying what is naturally provided for us. So I think for me, that was one of our biggest takeaways, because I know oftentimes we're always thinking like, what can I do this summer, right? But I have a budget, or, we can't afford to do this. Like, everything that we mentioned today could cost very, very little to absolutely nothing at all. So I don't know if that was a trend or intentional, but way to go, guys. Way to go. Well, I know
a lot of good takeaways.
Yes, so some amazing takeaways, and that actually brings us, like, I was just looking at the timer. I was like, wait, we've already been doing this for a half an hour. It's incredible that we were able to get through all of those, and time, as always with these shows, just flies on by. So we hope that you were able to take something away. And again, we don't want this to be the end of this, right? We don't want you to just say, okay, I'm going to go geocaching tomorrow. Like, make sure that you reconnect with us. Make sure that you respond, you retweet, connect with us. And there's some ways to do that. So please make sure that you join our Facebook group, the Global Educators Network. You could connect with educators from all over the world, an amazing opportunity to grow your networks. I would be remiss if I did not plug my own show, but it's through School Rubric, which is inside the principal's office. And so we have a show coming up very soon here, and I cannot wait, because we are asking kids to ask us, what do you guys actually do in school? So I can't wait to hear what some of their thoughts are, and to be able to respond to students from all over the world. We have some amazing guests there. And then, of course, don't forget to join us in this space for our next version of Office Hours, where we are going to be talking to parents about some reflections from this year and how we as educators could utilize that information as we prepare over the summer for next school year. So please make sure that you join us in this space again on June 8th. Before we close out, Dave, Shilpi, I want to say thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for bringing some great ideas. I hope that you guys had a wonderful time.
Yep.
It was like a backyard barbecue chat. It was a great time.
I'm definitely hungry.
Yep. now we got to get together and have some paella and sangria, right?
Yes.
That's right.
That's what we got to do. So to our amazing guests now, if you were watching, we want to say thank you to you as well. And maybe you're hungry, so go get some dinner, or depending on what time you're watching this, breakfast, lunch, whatever it may be. But thank you for joining us. We will see you again next time.
You.
Take care.
Take care.
Thank you for watching School Rubric on YouTube. Make sure that you like, follow, and subscribe in order to stay looped in on all of our diverse collection of shows, interviews, panels, tutorials, and more from educators around the globe. And visit us at schoolrubric.com for even more great content, such as our online articles, Interact magazine, featured podcasts, and more. Thank you.